Welcome to part 2 of the How to Master Your Mindset. What we're really doing is helping connect the dots. What habits do you need to focus in on in order to actually have fulfillment while you are achieving success, so that there isn't that off balance? And that's what we're going to be digging into today. So my name is Charlotte Froh, and I'm a certified high performance coach and the founder of Thrive Consulting, where I focus in on leadership and development consulting, primarily with businesses. And so we're going to dig in a little bit further. If you missed part 1, I want you to go back to my podcast, Change by Choice, and take a listen to that one. I'm also going to have it in the link in the description here so that you can go back to it. As always, it's always best to have some paper and a pen so that you can jot down some nuggets, do a little reflection as you're walking through this information. But if not, if let's say you're out running, driving, whatnot, you can always go back to it and get that part done after. So be safe out there, my friends. All right. So in terms of diving in deeper, last week we really talked about, the essential pillars of high performance. The areas that you need to focus in on in order to start to gain a little bit of clarity as to how you're going to move forward so that you start to level your life up. But I really want you to focus in on the word deliberate, because it is. It's intentional, it's focused, and it's deliberate. This isn't something that you learn, do once, think you've mastered it, and then off to the next. This is a lifelong journey. This is how you level your life up in all areas of your life. So as I mentioned last time, really talking about the different arenas in your life, your health, your finances, your relationships, right? Your career, your mission, your personal hobbies, just all the areas that create your world. And at the end of it, it's how to level yourself up to start to achieve those amazing, fantastic goals, but do it in a way where it's not off balance. Oftentimes I work with clients that, when I first start off with them, there is a major unbalance that's happening in their life. They're achievers. They potentially have already succeeded and achieved huge goals, but at what cost? Sometimes that cost is relationships, their partners. Sometimes it's their health. They put everything into, getting themselves to that next level, just achieving that goal. And there's a part of their life that dropped. Some achieve their goals and they're still not happy or fulfilled. So this conversation that we've started and the work that I do is about, creating some awareness around the habits and the disciplines needed to be able to move your life forward in all areas, so that you actually, at the end of it, have fulfillment and happiness and peace. You also, work with stress differently. So you can have it all, but it takes constant focus, deliberate focus to be able to get there. And so in part 1, we walked through various reflection questions, and hopefully you had the chance to sit down and really start to think about, where you're at with those questions. Journaling is probably one of the most important practices. But again, not just journaling just for the sake of journaling, but really being intentional with it so that you can do something with that information. So what we're going to do today is really take what we went through in part 1, and I'm going to link you to a few different tools that you're going to be able to access to help you kickstart some deliberate habits in your life, so that you can start to move that needle forward. So at the end of the day, the most important ingredient there is not only that it's deliberate, but that it's consistent. Anyone can start something. We do it all the time. I'm sure you started a habit many times and maybe fell to the wayside. This time, I want you to look at it differently. I want you to really assess where your desires are not being met, where your results aren't being accomplished, that things that you want are not coming to fruition. And what shifts and changes do you need to start making so that you can finally get yourself to a place where you're able to adapt to life's challenges? Because this isn't just about, giving you a routine and telling you, okay, there you go. You just have to do that and you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to level yourself up. Sure, that might work for some time. But when you're going to be handed obstacles that you're not going to be able to cope with, when you're going to start to see that person next to you achieve results that you hope to achieve and they got there quicker, and it brings out just, some of those dark little thoughts that we get sometimes. When you're going to be met with a challenge where your ego is going to, it's going to be affected. And you're going to think that, like, I want to quit. I can't do it. Or your pride's going to step in the way. What I'm teaching you is how to show up consistently with yourself and adapt to whatever situations you're being thrown. Right? Could you imagine what it would look like if you could just bounce back from those setbacks quickly because of the strength in your mindset? So sure, a lot of the things that we talk about are common, they're common sense. But until you are practicing them all the time and able to practice them in the times that are the hardest, that are the most challenging, where you feel defeated and you feel deflated, there's still work to be done. So here's how you get started. I've created a multitude of tools to be able to help you in this process. And you're going to find links to my free members lounge in the description below. And I want you to click on it if this information really connects to you, if you feel drawn to really level yourself up in your life, with your relationships, with your finances, with your mindset. And there's going to be a few different tools there that you're going to be able to connect into. So the first one, once you're in the free members lounge, you're going to see 3 free downloads that you're going to be able to use. So the first one is how to plan your day. So I've created a quick start, plan your day, printout that you can use every single day. As we know, how you start your day is how you end your day. So just by doing that one step and doing it daily, to start to proactively plan how your day is going to go and what your priorities are, will get you one step closer. And if you're already in that process, I want you to ask yourself, what one step could you make that's going to make that process even more impactful, that will level you up in terms of your productivity? And write it down. Next one, how to journal. So there's a quick start guide on journaling. I want you to download that. Journaling, as I've mentioned, is essential. It creates daily clarity, and it allows you to go back to be able to see where you're at and what you need to do to move yourself forward, what obstacles are coming up for you, what patterns you have. And more so, especially as achievers, sometimes we don't acknowledge the small wins that we're having because we're always pushing for something else. It is so incredibly important to write down some of those wins, to acknowledge the shifts, to acknowledge any type of behavior change that you're having, where you might have pushed yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't rely on yourself to just remember, because usually achievers at the end of the day are just thinking about the next thing that they have to do, or they're being hard on themselves that, like, oh, look at all the things that I didn't do. What I'm talking about are the steps to overcome those barriers, because that mind frame isn't going to get you to the next level of success. That mind frame is going to have you play small. It's completely connected to a limiting belief. And while you're stuck there, your energy isn't going towards, having more fulfillment, being in service, showing up for people, regardless of what that outcome is. High performers, they constantly want to be in service. It's not about the money. It's not about the title. It's not about any of that. It's about that feeling of fulfillment to help and to serve, regardless of what we're getting from it. So I want you to ask yourself, where are you stuck? Where do you get stuck when things get hard? So you can use that download to be able to help you in your daily guiding process with journaling. Right? Awesome. So the third download, the free gift that I have for you, is all on productivity and essentially beating the burnout. I can't tell you how many people, and I went there myself, are so close to hitting burnout. We have ambitions, we have thoughts, we have goals, we have dreams. We're constantly moving forward. We're achievers. We are hard on ourselves. We just want to keep moving forward. And in that process, we burn out. There's an element of our life that isn't being taken care of. And if I'm speaking to you right now, in any of the, in any of the pieces that I've been bringing up, I want you to write it down. It doesn't have to be like that. And so essentially moving into the practices of high performance and the habits that it takes to move you forward ends up protecting your energy and your space and your mindset. Now I'm no longer operating like that. I can catch myself so quickly. And I want to share with you guys how to develop the same frame of thinking and the same habits and disciplines to be able to get there. So those are 3 different tools that are going to help you move yourself forward, just as a baseline foundation to being able to assess, and just create a little bit of change. We're not talking about huge shifts. I'm never going to be that coach that is going to say, go from A to Z right now. Your mindset isn't there yet. That's why people start things and they don't finish. That is why, so many people aren't achieving their health goals. They're either taking shortcuts or they're going too hard, too fast, too drastic. It's about creating building blocks, moving yourself forward in a way that feels good, where you can adjust your mindset along the way and strengthen it so that you can actually keep up with the changes that you're making in your life. That's what I'm here for, to help you, to help guide you, to help coach you in that way. So if you're ready for it, I want you to click on that link and enter into the free members lounge. Like I mentioned before, you're going to have those 3 free tools, and any new free tools that I create get added in there. Not only that, but you have access to so many development tools, reading lists, my podcasts, blogs. I'll be adding in more information so that you have a one-stop place to be able to access all the things that you need for personal development each day. So, where are you at right now? I want you to really take that step back and ask yourself, if you had to make one change every single day to bring you closer to being your best self, the one that has more courage, that is more organized, that is, more productive, that has more love to give because they're not feeling so stressed. And I want you to start to make some changes, small changes. It starts now. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in that hamster wheel. And you're going to wonder why 5 years down the road, you're still in the same place, except for your health is going to be in a worse place. So it doesn't have to be like this. I'm going to teach you how to move yourself out of chaos and into a place of fulfillment, of happiness, of supreme success. So I'm super excited to jump on this journey. As always, you can always message and send off requests for different topics that you would like to hear on this podcast. And I hope that you're going to enjoy the tools that I've created for you. Have a wonderful day.